I'm Anna.
I'm Ben.
We're AutoSave. Welcome to our channel.
Today we're watching a new show, Bakemonogatari.
Yes.
It's part of a greater series, I believe. Just trying to figure out what order we should watch it in. Thank you to our Patreon and our mods for help figuring out which order. And this is what we're starting with. I know nothing. I don't know what characters look like. I don't know what this is about. I know absolutely nothing other than that apparently it's a series. You?
That's basically what I know. That there's a lot of different titles, all ending with seemingly some sort of variant of Monogatari. But I know nothing about the content that they hold. All
right. Well, since it's the first episode, we offer full length for everybody down below for free. We also have up to 2 weeks early access on our Patreon. And thank you, motbob, for the subs. Ready?
Yeah.
Sweet. Now, that happened in 1 second. There was a lot of words.
I know.
What? What?
I don't know what's happening.
I can't read. Oh my gosh.
I can't read.
I feel like we're gonna have to go back and pause it a couple times. Is this the opening? Crab?
Monkey, snake, cat,
Vampire.
I was dashing up the school
Late-ish
stairs.
as usual. Whoa.
It's like Madoka Magica.
Yeah. I was right in not avoiding her, I think. Senjogahara? This is the opening, I'm assuming, right?
Opening animation.
Stapled. What? Monday, May 8th. Nice democratic veneer.
Araraki.
Okay.
Cute little hair tie.
Cool shot.
Was she falling because she fainted?
I just know what I know.
I like that the line art on the people themselves is like a dark red.
Yeah.
We're like catching them as they fall from the sky.
Oh, wow. Doesn't have any friends. Doesn't talk much.
She didn't look really sick when she was falling into his arms. So something changed.
That's rare. She's so much prettier now.
There's a bit of mystery in her presence. It's alluring.
Ethereal. I love that word. What?
Is that like a blade?
Looks like a box cutter. Whoa.
That what people want untouched.
Oh! The stapler! I don't have any weight. Legitimately.
Not entirely weightless.
5 kilograms. What? I met a crab. What?
Basically, like, leave it alone. Leave me alone.
To bind your mouth shut.
Silence and indifference.
Oh my god. Even inaction. Oh.
Oh, wait, but still being by his stomach, putting it back.
The staple? Be sure to ignore me starting tomorrow. Just gone? Whoa!
I have stapled my finger before. I don't even want to imagine.
True.
It's like whoever did that got him in this mess.
How do you think the not interacting with each other is gonna go?
Not well. Ignore. You have
Stop.
to ignore. Ignore.
What? What the fuck?
Even kindness will be treated as... Did it just like heal and like there's no wound?
Did he meet a crab too? What? What? Wow, you see the bite? How did that process go? This world is crazy.
Yeah, how dare you?
Who are we fighting? Oh my god. So much.
You're just gonna have to carry all of that.
I don't think she needs her stationery. 5,000?
Once every minute.
What?
That sounds not real.
This is so creative.
She knows about my
Whoa.
family being like in his eyes.
Yeah. Whoa.
How sweet. Only benefits the... Just heal a bit faster.
Interesting. Oshino sounds really cool.
It's the guy with the blonde hair holding the heart.
Is he gonna get your weight back? Do you want your weight back?
Miss.
Bashfulness. What is that child? Oh?
Okay. What's her name?
Shinobu.
Wait, he said heart.
It's nothing. A husk of a vampire. Mmm. Such an interesting shot. The weight crab.
Folklore.
Heavy crab or the weighted crab. The emotion god is another way of saying it. Gotcha.
Given the right situation. Luckier side of misfortune.
Gods are everywhere. They're everywhere and nowhere. Interesting. Your perspective shifted.
He had a similar line to her on the stairs.
Yeah.
Like she could control
What was
maybe?
that?
Going back.
Wow. It might be the ending theme.
Maybe. What made you think that? The hands out, just no stationery.
Okay, that was Bakemonogatari Season 1, Episode 1. I feel like before we even start talking about what we watched, I want to go back and look at the flashing text that was on the screen.
At the very beginning of this episode.
We might edit around just for, time's sake, but let's go.
Oh, so it's not boring.
Yeah. Animation number 008 Kiss shot.
Heart under blade. I suppose I need to get around to talking about her. I probably have a duty to do so.
Who do you think that this is about? Do you think that this is coming from the perspective of Araragi?
It almost feels like it is from his perspective in terms of like when he's walking up the stairs, he is talking about like, did he make a mistake in, starting a acquaintanceship with her?
Obviously we're gonna get to it later, but like heart under blade, it brings me to the heart line with Shinobu that was said, but blood. Aragari,
that was his
Kayomi.
name. Streetlight.
We don't know who she is, right?
No. The bangs are kind of similar to Shinobu.
Yeah.
During the spring break between my second and third years as a high school student, I met her.
In any case, I must have had terrible luck. So if by that same coincidence I had avoided it, wouldn't that have just made someone else meet the same fate?
I very much doubt it.
Maybe I should just be upfront and say that it was my fault. Did he drop the banana peel? Or it's just his fault for doing it.
Bringing her to meet with Oshino.
Maybe.
That is his fault.
Incredibly
he is responsible for that.
And
then we get the name Oshino
and then
on
we
the
see
screen,
him. You're right.
Bringing the two together, the chain of events
tied happened because of who I am. Though we've been in the same class, my first, my second, and this my third and final year of high school, so that's definitely confirmation that it is Aragari. He's talking about Senjogahara. I've never once seen her make any sort of vigorous movement. She's always alone reading a book in one corner of the classroom. At times, that book is an imposing hardcover.
Because she wants to be left alone.
Yeah, but I wonder if... I don't know. Like, I want to know what she reads. I want to know where her seemingly, like, inhuman-like abilities come from in terms of, like, capabilities. She seems very... very good with
hiding
her stationery. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, she's talented at hiding the stationery and carrying it on her person.
I could
but
not
then also like flicking it out
with her fingers. I can't do that.
I couldn't. I thought she just met a weight crab, not a stationary crab.
But I wonder if that also like goes into her life, her backstory, what this world is like, what abilities. Obviously, vampires exist in this world.
And Oshino did have dialogue to her that was kind of about the idea that she brought this upon herself.
Yeah. Whenever test results are posted, Senjogahara's name is always one of the first 10 on the list, no matter the subject. We know she's smart.
I feel like that's Shinobu, but in like a different form.
Yeah?
Yeah. Because he's holding the heart there, and then we see her again, and the bang shape is the same.
That's true.
Like, color
I mean, we got, husk of a vampire in terms of Shinobu, so maybe it's like... like when she was
control. I think it's more of a control thing. Like he holds her heart. Like he can command this husk.
Okay. Whoa. I think you made a really cool comparison to Madoka Magica. Like
in terms of
like craziness an atmosphere, and I adore it. And there's definitely that mixed medium that there's have.
A tenseness too, in terms of like hearing people walking, the angles of which some of the storyboarding is happening, the shadows created by people's bodies or by the architecture itself being interesting, street signs, and having a lot of like very stimulating, like almost overstimulating to some regard.
Yeah. So it's interesting because out of Senjugahara, the 5 kilogram girl, Aragari, the previous vampire who has been turned back into a human but still has abilities that let him slightly heal faster or heal slight injuries faster than any normal human could, or Shinobu, the husk of the vampire. The person I'm most fascinated about by far is Oshino. I feel like there's
so much lore to that person.
What
I feel like.
must you have done, or what must you know to be a hub that asks for vampires and people affected by a weight crab, like, to come to you in seek of assistance?
It makes me think of a line that Hanekawa has when we're talking to her over, like, what should we do? A haunted house, a cafe. And he's like, you know a lot of things. And she's just like, I just know what I know. This guy knows a lot of things about a lot of things. And I can't help also remembering a line that, oh my god, it's going to be so hard for me to... Senjugahara says to him that she's, like, had this conversation before with a couple
5
other
others,
people, and they've all said at least the same initial things to her, and they've all been con artists. Yeah. So this guy being the real deal has to also be something impressive. I think that he's definitely the character that I feel the most intrigued by at the moment. I think my second character I'm most intrigued by at the moment is Shinobu.
Interesting. I think my favorite character at the moment is Senjugahara. I think she's cool. And Hanekawa, we got that shot at the beginning of wind affecting her clothes and Araragi being very observant within a mere second. I wonder if that is a leftover trait of being a vampire, just how quick your eyes can move.
Possibly.
And how much you can take in.
Maybe he was lying to us when he was like, just the healing faster is his only inhuman trait. I do like that there are other characters that are maybe not engrossed in this world the supernatural world that we're kind of now getting introduced to in this first episode, that there is a character. I always like it in kind of supernatural or fantasy stories when there is a character that is left behind within the human world, both to show us kind of the difference of the daily life of a normal human in comparison to one that is in the nighttime fighting horrible beasts and monsters, but also what issues can play within that relationship of the one feeling left behind. Yeah. Like, you are within a world that is out of my reach.
I love when you have massive, like, mythic ideas or spiritual ideas and vampire-like creatures in the mix being, like, utilizing things like staplers or box cutters or things that we can relate to. I love that it seems to be the reason for Senjugahara falling in the first place is because of a banana peel. And, like, obviously that lends itself into her being so weightless, right?
But why do we get the word, like, why do we get told that she is thought of being very fatigued? Like, is she just clumsy? Like, she doesn't look where she's going, and therefore, of course, she would slip on a banana peel? And so we chalk up her clumsiness of slipping on things to being fatigue? Or is it more so how she acts around people that causes them to believe that when she was once so athletic and so connecting with her classmates, that now her isolation is due to some illness? It's more so a barrier that she's using to protect herself further, is kind of rumors about her health.
Yeah. But she was also very specific about talking about like the secret, right? It'd be an annoyance if you kept sniffing around. So what should I do to make you keep my secret? There are a lot of things that you could do and shift in personality that would happen after a sudden change like this, right? Like after coming face to face with the weight crab and losing that, in order to keep it a secret, if you want to do so, you could develop an entire personality shift and use that as a reason to keep the secret.
Right, we do have this very, she even says it herself, she was like, would I be described as like a tsundere?
Yeah.
Like she has created some sort of, it might not even be like her true self, what happened before, like who she was before the weight crab. But then you could also say that could have also been fake.
Yeah.
Like if she brought the weight crab by a wish and she brought this upon herself, then maybe who she is now is really her true self.
True, yeah. I feel as if anything that I'm going to say in the entire discussion for episode 1 is going to be laughable and stupid because I do not understand the environment and rules of the world that we're in
but
yet.
That's the fun of it.
No, I definitely. But like with saying that, it's like, yeah, we have Senjugahara have a seemingly not only rich family, but a family with massive connections that will check in on her once a minute, tell her about Araragi's siblings, which is a huge question mark. Okay, are they vampires? Mm-hmm. Did they get the same procedure done that Oshino did to him? Like that's a whole book that's yet to be open, you know?
Why would we keep it a secret? Obviously, there's like easy access ideas of why she'd so heavily want this to be a secret. Not wanting everyone's attention. There's something. Not wanting to be studied and experimented on by scientists. That's a good answer to that question. Like, I wouldn't want to be the first person in this world, like, known for some crazy happening that people might want to learn more about.
How literal is it? Like, in the sense of, like, if you told people, they could come over to you and just, like, pick you up, you know?
Right. It could just be an annoyance. Like, you wouldn't want people to know because you wouldn't want them to be bothering you all the time. Yeah. And, like, picking you up. Like, honestly, wouldn't you hate that? Like, people just, like, hearing your wait list and they're just coming up and, oh, look, I can pick them up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be so annoying.
I wonder, in terms of, like, digestion and eating, like, what that does. Like, you obviously
can't put on
can't.
Any weight.
Yeah, but what if you could? What if it has nothing to do with your physical self, which I want to tie into my favorite part of the episode in a little bit. But like, it being weightless doesn't necessarily need to convey weight as we would know it within like, oh wow, I'm gonna eat a lot of food for a long time and eat over my caloric daily intake and gain weight. If Senjugahara did that, maybe her appearance would change, but her weight would stay the same in being weightless. I want to connect. So my favorite part of the episode is the line of dialogue around the perspective shift. I want to reread the approach up to that being said and try to talk about it a little bit because it's super fascinating.
I will say she's not exactly weightless though. It's like, what, 5 kilograms?
Yeah.
So then I would think that if she gained weight, there would be some sort of ratio that happens.
Interesting.
So it'd be whatever.
See, I think it would stay at 5 kilograms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But again, I think that gets into what the perspective shift would be. You'd be mistaken to think that something happened to you, causing you to change. It's just that your perspective shift. You'd be mistaken to think that something happened to you, causing you to change. It's just that your perspective shifted. My perspective? What are you trying to tell me? I'm saying that I don't like it when people play the victim. It's almost a sense of like, you asked for this in one way or another, and that's why it appeared to you. Mm-hmm. Like, you always, like, in terms of, like, demonology or deities, a lot of mythos goes around of appearing to those who ask for it. Even like, okay, the devil will grant you a wish in exchange for your soul, but the devil will only appear to those who already have a wish to be granted.
Right, and obviously, you can regret something that you initially wanted. Like, you could want something so hard in the moment, but not actually think of what the repercussions of that thing would be. And then once you have it, it doesn't feel as sweet as you imagined it would.
Yeah. But I also want to take seriously of what happens immediately after these lines of dialogue are, which is Oshino having a stare down and then seemingly breaking that character saying, hey, not bad. I was certain you were just a stuck-up princess. Why would you think that? Because those people who the weight crab visit normally are. So that entire idea perspective shifted could just as easily be a test, you know? Or just like a little prodding from Oshino.
Maybe we're testing the resolve of this character. Like, is she easily flappable? You know, is she going to break as soon as you accuse her of being a victim? Or is she going to stand in front of you strong and kind of like resolute about the fact that she wants to fix this, or that she maybe recognizes within herself any of her flaws?
Yeah. Unless you have some kind of wish, it does not manifest. Don't worry, I'm not going to dig that far into your circumstances. I love the language that's being used within this show. In any case, all right, I've got you. If you want to recover your weight, I'll help.
How do we go about doing that? Do we have to find
the weight crab?
Do we have to find the weight crab again? Can the weight crab, as they can take away weight, can they give it back? Or is that a different crab that we have to find? Or a bunny, or a beautiful lady? Because he said sometimes they come in different forms.
In that same vein, though, are we going to have to give something to Oshino in exchange to get your weight back? Is there, like, obviously, there's a great line of like, okay, I'll take you on since Araragi he brought you here, but I wonder if that accounts for any type of repayment that might have to happen.
The repayment conversation doesn't even have to just be about Oshino. Like, what did you give to the crab to get your wish granted? Was there anything given? Or is it more so just the consequences of your actions in the aftermath?
Yeah. One of my favorite moments this episode was the eye poke.
Oh, how they displayed it.
Yeah, it was like so neat.
Diagram of like the skull.
It's interesting that like Senjugahara and Araragi don't have any history together, because upon being within this place in front of Oshino, they have a great back and forth. Like they're very natural together. I was obviously like not feeling that at all when it came to right after the staple, because I had yet to learn that we were a vampire.
It's because of who he is.
Yeah.
That they're able to have that. Like, he's not intimidated by her.
Yeah.
He's been through a lot. He's seen a lot. Like, the fact that I feel like I enjoy that he's not just some kind of goody two-shoes, I'm gonna try to, even if you're attacking me or threatening me, I still want to help you because out of the kindness of my heart. But really, it's just him being like, yo, dude, like, I kind of know your circumstance a little bit. Like, just shut up and come with me. Like, he's the calmness, the indifference that's there. He's not actually really caring about her in this instance, but he's kind of like, okay, I get it. You have your stationery.
Yeah.
You know about my family, and that's kind of spooky. I don't really like that, but like, I'll take you somewhere. Like, come on.
I feel like you're definitely right about the Shinobu stuff, like what we read coming into the discussion, and then Shinobu written as a heart under a blade. Like, it's the exact same language, which is interesting, right?
Which I would not have gotten there if we hadn't seen at the beginning of the episode him holding a heart in his hand. Which gives the idea that he has control over this thing. And Shinobu, I feel like, is basically just eyeing Oshino.
Yeah, definitely. What do you think Hanekawa's presence in the show is going to be? Do you think she's going to have any, like, superhuman qualities or anything?
I think that they're gonna keep her as the human out of the non-human cast, or the not actually completely real humans like Araragi. I think that she's the tie to what the real world is and real humanity is, and a semblance of what they want to try to get back to. Like, our two main characters that we're getting, they want to return. We already know Araragi wanted to return to human, and he went through steps to do so. And we know that Senjugahara wants to get rid of this weightlessness and return probably to normal. And so having a tie to what normal is, I think, would probably stay consistent in the show. So I think that Hanekawa would stay that human friend that doesn't maybe know everything that's going on with them, but like is still there to like remind them of what they want to hold on to about themselves.
Yeah.
No matter what they go through.
I am so excited to learn about like how original the shit's about to be. Like how unique the shit's about to be. Like
it feels like it's gonna be.
It feels like nothing I've ever seen before on so many different levels. Like not only concept and like one-dimensional, oh, these are the characters and how they're interacting and how much is being achieved narratively in the first episode, but like in the writing style, how there's so much emphasis on names and the etymology of them, and also like the interactions with bashfulness, 5 kilograms, but take that away. Like it feels
There's
so
jokes in it.
Alive, I guess.
I think honestly something that I'm really surprised of coming out of it is that I didn't know what this was going to be about. Like you would think in theory that me prior to the channel would have wanted to watch something that had gods and vampires in it. I feel like that's totally something that I would have wanted to watch.
Yeah.
And the fact that I like when he said vampire, I was like, wait, what is happening in this story? Like, we have vampires? That's crazy.
The art style is extremely like right on for me, and like you pointed out the red outlines of the character art, and that's like Mob Psycho, and I love that, so I'm sold immediately.
There's a fluidity too. I would say Mob Psycho and Madoka Magica are really great kind of comparisons in terms of like Steins Gate. All three of those in terms of storyboarding, the animation, kind of all of the things that are going on, transitions from scene to scene, like a lot of it. I think those three shows are great to put on.
We should put an emphasis in why bringing them up. It's not any sort of comparison in terms of like
story or anything. It's
but
more art.
For me, it art for sure. But for me, it's like a quality, like a peakness for me. I think that within those three shows are probably very close to, if not some of like the top 5 shows of animes that I've ever watched, period. And that, like, I have this feeling in my stomach just watching this first episode being like, holy shit, I'm about to experience something special.
I think there's also going to be a lot of me trying to like make sure that after every episode I have grasped what it is trying to tell me, because it seems like it could get rather deep.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, gotta make sure that I'm like here, and I want to be. It makes me want to be. Yeah,
I feel like once we watch another episode or 2 episodes or 5 or 10, then the idea of rewatching the first episode would be so breathtaking. But I wouldn't do it until we finished everything. But it's that kind of show that it feels like the shows that we listed, it feels like once you know what the fuck's going on and then you rewatch it, like the rewatchability would be phenomenal. That's what it feels like, and I know nothing.
Like you've already been told everything and you just didn't yet understand what you've been given. Like as
you only understood it one-dimensionally.
I know what I know.
Yeah.
I just know what I know. And at the moment we don't actually know what we know. And we won't know what we know until this is over. And then we'll be like, wow, we knew that.
You think this is a show that's gonna kill off people?
Like the main cast. I don't even know if this is gonna be like the forever main cast.
Like the 5 people that we got mainly?
No. That's obviously with no evidence, like an answer to that question. Yeah. But it's more so just meeting them. They all feel like they hold a very specific place in the story in terms of what they can give to the narrative or why we need them and why they might be important moving forward.
Why have regret on Araragi's part within the introduction of this episode of the situation that went down with Senjo Gohara? Like, what will come of her? Inevitably, I feel like something might come of her or happen to him because of her.
So we know that the only thing I can go is 2 things from him in terms of guessing why he might hold regret. Is the first and most obvious thing is he was trying to leave this world.
Yeah.
He tried to leave being a vampire behind and become a real boy.
Mm-hmm.
Like a human. And so obviously he would do that in order to leave that world behind.
And if she brought him back into it.
Right. And if he's trying to introduce someone who also wants to, like, that makes sense that he'd be like, okay, you want to get rid of this too. Like, I will help you get rid of this. But to him, that probably doesn't seem like a huge risk at the moment, because this isn't a person that wants to be in that world. It's a person that also wants to leave. So it's just being helpful.
She might have a fascination with that world that we have not quite seen yet.
Or just the journey. Like, now that he's on the journey, like, it's probably not as easy a fix of changing him from being vampire to not.
That's
like,
true.
Her fix might be more of a journey.
Interesting.
That he maybe didn't necessarily realize he was gonna sign up for.
Yeah.
With this. And then the second thing I would bring up is the fact that he has a family.
Mm-hmm.
And there are people in his life that I would believe are human that could be at risk if he goes deeper back within the kind of ethereal fantasy world.
Interesting. All right, that's all I have for episode 1. You?
Yep.
Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and we hope to see you next time.